All right, let's begin. This is the Phoenix Protocol.
You need to understand something fundamental. A phoenix, you see, it can't become immortal until it first dies.
So let me ask you, what about you?
You're still just half alive. You think you're giving it your all, but let's be honest. You always leave yourself an escape route, don't you? And that right there, that's the very reason nothing ever changes for you.
Okay, let's get into it. Section 1. The Phoenix's Condition.
So here's the first order. End it. Right now. I want you to take all that weakness, all that complacency, and burn it all away.
And don't worry, this isn't going to kill you. In fact, this is the only way you can truly begin.
All right, Section 2, the enemies to fight. Look, I want you to understand something. That moment when you feel like you just can't go on, it comes for everyone, no exceptions. So when that moment hits, what does it bring with it? Well, it brings the mercilessness of reality. It brings that one careless word from someone that just cuts you deep, and boom, just like that, you break. See, the second you aim for something high, I guarantee you, a wall is going to appear right in front of you. And all that excitement you had, that hope for the future, that's not enough to get you over it. Actually, the stronger your hope, the harder you're going to shatter when you hit that wall.
And then, of course, some genius comes along and says, you know, the success rate is only 1%. It's scary, right? I get it. It makes you want to just brace for impact. I understand why you wouldn't feel optimistic hearing that.
Yeah, okay. 1%, so what?
That 1%, that's not the point. You're missing the point entirely. The point is this. If there's any chance, even just 1%, your only job is to become that 1%. The chance exists. It's not zero. So the only question that matters is, are you going to be in that winning group or not? Because the moment you decide not to even try, you become a guaranteed absolute 0%.
Which brings us to our strategy, Section 3, the commander's tactics. This is exactly what you do when you hit that wall.
Your first order of business, stop fighting with emotion. You need to become a machine. Become a system. You simply and dispassionately process what has to be done. That's it. If social media is just noise, cut it off. If you're surrounded by people spewing negativity, get away from them. And listen, that's not running away. That's called optimizing your environment for victory.
Okay, Section 4. Let's talk about the reality of the people who actually win. Because I guarantee you, it is not what you think it is.
You know, the winners, from the outside, all you see are geniuses. People who are blessed. People who just seem to have it all together, right?
But the reality is completely different.
The truth, winners have bled just as much as the people who failed. A lot of the time, they've bled even more. They have days, weeks where they can't perform. They have moments where they feel like they are about to completely break. But the only difference, the only one, is that they keep going. They just do not stop. That is literally all there is to it.
So I want to ask you, the one who's on the verge of quitting, the one who's already failed, let me ask you something. Aren't you somewhere deep down looking down on them?
You've heard the kind of stuff people say. Maybe you've even said it yourself. Is it really necessary to go that far? Or, sure, they can pass a test, but they can't even hold a normal conversation. Look, you're free to think whatever you want, but why would you say that to someone who is actually trying? Did you think the winners don't hear you? They hear everything. And yeah, those words hurt. And yet, they keep advancing, collecting more and more wounds along the way. That is why they are the ones left standing.
And that right there, that brings us to the absolute core of this whole thing. Section 5, what true value is. This is why society actually respects winners.
It has nothing to do with whether they can hold a conversation. Seriously, that's a superficial skill. In this context, it's worthless. What is valuable, what people actually respect, is the simple fact that they overcame a brutal trial. It's the ability to continue, to repeat, to course correct over and over again. That power, the sheer grit to see something through to the end, that is what's really being evaluated.
Does that sound harsh? Of course it is. That's exactly why it has value.
And now, we've reached the end. Section 6, the final order.
Listen to me. It is fine to be covered in blood and wounds. If you think you're going to give up anyway, then go all in first. Get completely beaten back. Only when you have given it your absolute, unequivocal all, and it still wasn't enough, that is the first moment you are allowed to be finished. Do not quit halfway. that flame you feel in your heart, it's not going to be put out by something so trivial as quitting. No. The only person who can extinguish that flame is the one who sees it through, all the way to the very end.
So if you're going to do this, you do it to the end.